This year's parliamentary elections will go down in history as those with the highest turnout since 1989. According to preliminary estimates by Ipsos, the turnout was 72.9%.
Pokazaliśmy, że odpowiedzialnie bierzemy sprawy w swoje ręce.
We have shown that we take matters into our own hands responsibly. We are all waiting for the National Electoral Commission to complete its work. Once again, I would like to thank all the voters and all my compatriots who took part in the elections, both in Poland and abroad. I'm very grateful for that.
Wszystkim moim rodakom, którzy wzięli udział w wyborach i w Polsce, i poza granicami.
The National Electoral Commission receives voting results from hour to hour. The final results will probably be known on Tuesday. According to the late poll, Law and Justice received 36.6% support, Civic Coalition was in second place with 31%, and the Third Way was third with 13.5%. The Left also enters the same with 8.6% and Confederation with 6.5%. Law and Justice achieved the highest result in the parliamentary elections for the third time in a row. The victory of the ruling party does not yet give it a majority to rule independently. That is why a leaders' meeting was held today at the headquarters of Law and Justice. After the results were announced, Jarosław Kaczyński said that PiS politicians would do everything possible to continue implementing the party's programme, despite the coalition that is against the united right. The question before us is, of course, whether this success will be possible in the next term of office of our government, and we do not know that yet. In turn, Civic Coalition's headquarters felt an atmosphere of victory despite taking second place. Donald Tusk announced his willingness to form a government in coalition with the Third Way and the Left.
Nigdy w życiu.
I have never been so happy with this second place in my life. Poland won, democracy won.
Polska wygrała demokracja.
The Confederation suffered a defeat which even one of its leaders, Sławomir Mencen, admitted. The party began to blame each other because just a few weeks ago the polls gave it a result of over 10%. I feel responsible for this result. Perhaps the day has finally come that I can call the greatest failure of my life. The National Electoral Commission counts the votes received from polling stations on a continuing basis. Civic Coalition won the parliamentary elections in countries such as Latvia, Lithuania and Moldova. The majority of the American Polonia chose Law and Justice. For many, the result of Szymon Hołownia and Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz's Third Way is a surprise. They took over the part of the electorate from the centre of the political scene and the voters of Confederation. Many commentators did not rate our chances of crossing the electoral threshold and for completing our project. Law and Justice may have about 200 seats. 231 seats are needed to rule independently. The Third Way declared from the beginning that Polska 2050 and PSL will create two separate parliamentary clubs after the election, Polska 2050 and PSL.